Good morning. I think still just. Look, it is a great honour to host my very good friend, Prime Minister Marape, here today, and return the hospitality that I received when I visited Port Moresby, and we were earlier this year, and had the great honour of being the first person from outside Papua New Guinea to address the Parliament in Port Moresby. Australia and Papua New Guinea share a very special relationship. It is 50 years since the decision was made in December 1973 by the Whitlam Labor government to grant independence to Papua New Guinea, and since then that relationship with that shared history has meant that we have developed still so close, but as equals and as partners. And today we take that partnership to a new level. As close neighbours and regional leaders, our security and prosperity are bound together. We help each other in times of need, and we respond together to the needs of the Pacific family. Since coming to government, we've boosted our support for Papua New Guinea's economic ambitions and infrastructure, health, education and labour mobility. And we've made progress on improving visa processing and access. It's down from more than 50 days down to under 14 now, just this year. Most recently, we've worked together to help the Solomon Islands deliver security for its successful Pacific Games that were held in Honiara. Today, we have fulfilled our commitment to elevate our partnership by signing a legally binding bilateral security agreement. This is a comprehensive and a historic agreement. It will make it easier for Australia to help PNG address its internal security needs, and for Australia and Papua New Guinea to support each other's security and the region's stability. Policing and domestic security are priorities for my friend Prime Minister Marape. They are essential for the economic development of PNG and for the welfare of the people of that great nation, which the Prime Minister always reminds me is a nation of 800 languages. That's what you call diversity. And that, of course, means that an absolute priority is how you bring social cohesion to such a diverse population. We have listened to the Prime Minister's priorities, and I can announce today a new package of support for policing infrastructure and training for the Royal PNG Constabulary, as well as new support for the judiciary, correctional services, and combating gender-based violence. We're also announcing today that Australia will support PNG to establish a police recruit and investigations training centre to help Papua New Guinea build a larger, more capable police force and provide training to other Pacific police forces. This security agreement is a natural progression in our security partnership. It builds on our comprehensive strategic and economic partnership. It reinforces our mutual respect for each other's sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity. And of course, if you stand on Sabai Island in the Torres Strait, you can literally see Papua New Guinea. And if you're a good swimmer, you might be able to swim there as well. I look forward very much to hosting Prime Minister Marape on February 8 as a guest of government, and him addressing a joint sitting of Parliament, which will be the first address by a leader to our Parliament since President Widodo at the beginning of 2020. So this will be the first in 4 years. We'll return the honour that I received in January of being the first foreign leader to address that Parliament, and I've written to the Speaker today, and with the support as well of the Leader of the Opposition, we look forward to welcoming Prime Minister Marape for that joint sitting of Parliament. Papua New Guinea can always count on Australia. We share a future, and together we're building a partnership that will deliver peace, prosperity and opportunity for our people and for our region. Prime Minister Marape.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my good friend, brother, the Prime Minister of Australia, the Honourable Albanese. Today is a good moment in which both leaders representing our two people, our two governments, one more time entrenching our shared history, our deep bond, and our two countries' closeness. One more time deeper in the security agreement that we just signed. I want to say thank you very much for the warm hospitality. Prime Minister Albanese and the team has run it to me and my delegation. But this is not just one moment in which Australia has been hospitable to Papua New Guinea. We became a sovereign nation from the hands of Australia when the Australian flag was lowered for the first time in the afternoon of September 15th, 1975, and when PNG's flag was hoisted for the first time in September 16, 1975. Australia, 50 years ago this date, we would be 7 days into our own self-government. It was December 1st, 1973 that the Labour Whitlam government granted the Somare Pangu government the self-government authority, and from there our march to sovereignty took place, and 2 years later in September 16, 1975, we became independent. The construct of what is modern-day Papua New Guinea has a lot of input by Australia right from day one. In fact, even before day one, the structure of our judiciary, the structure of our public service, the structure of our education system, the sovereign borders we have today was a construct of what became Papua New Guinea under Australian sovereignty. And today, 48 years on, we've had our own travel together as two nations, brother and sister nations. I am happy that my friend Prime Minister Albanese, under his words and my words, we have now signed what is a historic bilateral security agreement that not only look into one spectrum of security but encompasses quite a broad spectrum of security that covers not just police but looks into judiciary, has a working relationship with our defense, also look into the economic security of our people, as well as every other aspects that deals with our national prosperity and our national well-being. I want to thank all Australian taxpayers, and it is not just in the personal interest of Prime Minister Albanese to forge a deeper working relationship with Australia and PNG. You've always given support to us. What happens up north of your borders has deep shared effect, benefit, consequences on our region. We have emerged as joint leaders in our part of planet Earth. In the world of many relationships out there, we choose to ensure we go deeper and strengthen our own bond with Australia because it is home for us. I was telling your Prime Minister, Australian Prime Minister, earlier in our meeting, we have many plate tectonics that anchor PNG together, but the biggest is the Australian plate below that holds our part of PNG and the Australian continent together. That just simply depicts that we are joined at the hips forever and going forward. It is in our leadership interest that we construct a future today, and the signing of the strategic security agreement between Australia and Papua New Guinea is a step in constructing what would be our shared future as it has been our shared past. And I want to appreciate Prime Minister Albanese's leadership. When we invited you to address our Parliament on the 12th of January this year, you became the first foreign leader to address our national Parliament. That was not coincidental, it was meant to be. It would have been an Australian Prime Minister to address our Parliament. It happened to be you, my friend. And I'm just happy that you are giving me an opportunity to address your Parliament on the 8th of February in 2024 to emerging Australians and emerging Papua New Guineans. We can never compromise our two nations' closeness, our two nations' cultures, our two nations' history, and more importantly, as we leaders gel together, it is an indication to citizens of Australia and Papua New Guinea, business of Australia and Papua New Guinea, public service of Australia and Papua New Guinea, that it is in our combined interest to work together going forward into the future. And I just look forward to that moment to address the Parliament. Thank you very much for the opportunity for us to sign the security agreement. It will then be worked upon to consolidate our two national interests, our two countries, people, and of course, government to government working relationships going forward.
Sir. Ashley Radner.
Prime Minister Marape, Papua New Guinea has wanted to be a friend to all, enemy to none, but you've now signed a defence agreement with the United States, this security agreement with Australia. So can we take this as a sign that you're in fact picking a side in the strategic competition between the United States and China?
It's never picking a side. Every relationship has its own peculiar views. Our common foreign policy, I beg your pardon, our major foreign policy as friends to all, enemies to none remains. And it's never picking a side. We have specific aspects of relations with every nation we choose to. With Australia, with USA, those are the relations we picked, and it's never at the expense of our relationships elsewhere.
Ben.
Prime Minister Marape, on security, Bougainville is the region's biggest potential security flashpoint. 4 years ago, 97.7% of Bougainvillians voted for independence from PNG. Mr Marape, do you commit a government you lead to ratifying that referendum result? And to Mr Albanese, Australia's party to the Bougainville Peace Agreement, should PNG respect the overwhelming free vote of Bougainvillians and allow Bougainville its independence?
Well, I'll say very clearly, answer first before Mr Marape. I respect PNG's sovereignty, and those issues are a matter for Papua New Guinea.
All right, Australia was part of the peace process. New Zealand was part of the peace process in 2001 when we reached the Bougainville Peace Agreement, and the process is on foot. The final leg of the peace process means National Parliament will rectify, in the words of the peace agreement, rectify the results. And so there are two sides, the national government and the autonomous Bougainville government. I have a handle on the peace agreement process. It is a peace agreement process, meaning for a peaceful solution to the Bougainville issue.
Yeah.
The political question, the political process is another part of the conversation. We are on time, on schedule, to honor the 2001 peace process. The ratification process will take precedence.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks, Prime Minister. Prime Minister Marape, can I just clarify, is it your expectation that this agreement that's been signed today will be ratified or will need to be ratified by the Parliament, or will it be binding on signature? And can I also ask, just in the details of the Security Pact, is there any clause whatsoever that implies any sort of exclusive rights for Australia here? Does it exclude Papua New Guinea signing similar agreements with any other country? Or is that not the case? And Mr Albanese, on that subject, can I ask, did Australia, as was reported earlier this year, push for any exclusionary language in this treaty during the negotiation process?
Well, if you don't mind, my friend, there is no exclusivity in between this one. This one gives respect to PNG and Australia's own security need and our own peculiar aspects of our security. Lest we forget, we source more investments from Australian investments in PNG right now. The biggest hoard of investors are Australian investors in our country. Security in all aspects is important for PNG as much as it's for Australia. There's no exclusivity. Australia has given us respect to our relationship elsewhere. This is dovetailed in a manner in which it protects our own national interests to have economic and security relationship elsewhere. But more importantly, it is signed in a manner in which Australia wants to get involved in PNG. PNG invited them to come in. It was not Australia